Hi, welcome to the MobilityWOD project. It's Sunday night, or Saturday night. We're talking about Sunday morning. This is the last thing you want to be talking about on a Saturday night. You probably have your family here. That's my wife over there with a glass of wine. It's been a long week, and it's not so late that Georgia isn't still up. We have a special guest this weekend. Here at San Francisco CrossFit, we're hosting the CrossFit Football Certification Seminar with NFL superstar. You may know him just from the CrossFit Football blog and from the Every Second Counts video, but he actually played in the NFL for 10 years, and he's a real legit athlete. But one of the guys that he brought along to this project is a kid named Rafael Ruiz, who owns 1411. It's a strength and conditioning center and a speed.
1441.
Not 1411.
1441.
So right.
41.
The point is that this kid is probably one of the best speed mechanics on the planet. If you're interested in going very fast, if you're interested in making the NFL Combine, this is him. He's down in Tampa, and you can find all his information on CrossFit Football. Rafael Ruiz, and he's our boy. One of the things we want to talk about tonight is this biomarker that Rafael talks about kind of avoiding ACL injury in athletes. And specifically, we're looking at kind of avoiding what we call a valgus knee. Can you show us a valgus knee? G, we step out of the way? Step out of that way, buddy. So when we see that knee kind of come in, right, when an athlete jumps and lands and the knee comes together, that's a marker of what we're going to create is a lot of force on the knee that potentially exposes the ACL to a lot of strain. Rafael, his marker is what?
Navicular drop. One of the things that we look at as we watch if a foot is flat and the inside, the medial malleolus, starts to roll in from a flat foot, which causes an incredible amount of tibial torsion.
So one of the things that his kind of, and it's a fancy word for it, his pathognomonic for increased ACL strain is that navicular bone in the foot drops in, it collapses. And we might call that pronation, but we think it's a wholesale kind of collapse of the whole athlete through the whole kinetic chain. And when athletes jump and fall and that leg comes in, or they don't have the control of the hip to be able to manage that knee staying out and the foot drops, that's a real problem. Turn your feet out for me, would you? As soon as we turn them a little bit more, we see a lot of athletes kind of squatting in this position, and one of the things that does is potentially automatically exposes the knee to this position. Can you go ahead and just do a little squat? And one of the things that you'll see is that if he doesn't keep his knee perfectly out in this position, his knee drops in mechanically, he's go ahead and elicited that mechanical fault automatically. So one of the things we're going to talk about tonight is how to kind of work on this position from the hip. I contend that one of the mechanisms for this is a poorly organized athlete. If you talk to Raf and attend his programming, he'll say that the kind of best postured athlete, the most organized athlete, is the most effective at generating force. And so what we're going to do tonight is show you one way that hip can limit some of this range of motion. So I'm going to hand the camera over to Raf. Well, here's the homework tonight. What you're going to do is you're going to start in a kind of 90-degree position. Most of you guys should be familiar with this already. We're going to try to load the back of the butt. This is not some kind of pigeon pose yoga thing. We'll get to that later. I'm going to try to load the femur to the back of the butt, and then I'm going to start to extend over. This is a base position, 90 degrees roughly. And I'm going to try to imagine sticking my femur out my butt. So I'm just going to try to kind of exaggerate that position. I can go exploring, and this is an important part. This is maybe kind of the onset of the concept we call informed freestyling, which means that you need to start looking for the areas that you're tight. So if I'm tight here, but I may not be tight here, so don't collapse through. See if you can drive your knee into the ground. Hip comes over laterally, drive that knee into the ground, and hang out there, and I want you to scour back and forth through that. We're not interested in what we're kind of necessarily addressing. This is big-time capsular nature, but mainly we're thinking about working on a deep flexion position, which is being able to control the leg in squatting and being able to put that leg out so I avoid the dreaded valgus knee ACL tear. If I can't control the leg, then I end up with this position. Even though my quads are matching, this knee is exposed to a lot more valgus force, and that's where I see lots of injuries. So we're going to start in this position. Drive your hip over, try to open up that hip back and forth. Once you've gone exploring for about a minute or so, I want you to kick the leg across, bias external rotation, block the knee, and start over again. Maybe it's full flexion where the knee comes more to the chest. Maybe it's up here, but we're going to open up and grind through and find out what happens. Your test retest is to get into a good deadlift position, belly tight, stick your butt back as far as you can. What you'll find is that when you open this hip up, you'll be able to get this butt further back, increasing the leverage through the hamstring and your mechanical advantage. Also go ahead and retest through the squat and see how easy it is to keep that knee out and the foot straight so you don't end up in the dreaded position. Would you agree, Ralph?
I agree.
What do you guys think?
Agree.
Yeah!
Your goal is to spend 4 or 5 minutes each leg, and then want you to go deadlift, want you to go squat and see what the difference is. All right? We'll see you guys on Monday.